Good morning, students. Yesterday, CIVICS Unit 1, Indian Constitution. Under this topic, yesterday we saw preamble, acquisition of citizenship and laws of citizenship. Yesterday we saw. Today, continuation of the Indian Constitution. Listen here carefully, students. Fundamental rights. In the Indian Constitution, there are 7 fundamental rights exist. Totally 7 fundamental rights. But 6 fundamental rights only available to all the persons. Certain fundamental rights available only for Indian citizens. There are 7 fundamental rights exist, but 6 fundamental rights only available to all the persons, and certain fundamental rights available only for Indian citizens. Right to constitutional remedies. The constitutional remedies, both Supreme Court and High Court issued 5 kinds of writs. These 5 kinds of writs are habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari, and quo warranto. These are all the 5 writs, 5 kinds of writs. Both Supreme Court and High Court issued these kinds of writs. So, Supreme Court is called guardian of the Indian Constitution. Supreme Court is called guardian of the Constitution. Note it, students. Now the 5 writs I told you now. I am going to explain you the 5 writs. What are they? Habeas corpus. Habeas corpus look after safeguard from illegal arrest. For example, if a person, India, citizen of India, any illegal matter exists, that particular person was safeguarded from the illegal arrest. That is looked after by the habeas corpus. Second one, mandamus. Mandamus look after legal help done by the public authorities. Legal help. For example, the public, any assets having, all the people having the assets, if any problem arose in between the relationships or one state to another or public, any problem arose in this problem at that time, the legal help done by the public authorities. Legal help, mandamus, look after the mandamus, according to the writ of mandamus, look after the legal help done by public authorities. By the mandamus. Prohibition. For example, all the cases not able to take over by the court. Some cases were prohibited by the court. Initially, the cases will go to subordinate court. The subordinate court, some cases were taken by the subordinate court, some cases were prohibited by the subordinate court. So, the prohibition, the court having the rights to prohibit, the subordinate court having the rights to prohibit the cases noted. Next, certiorari. goes to subordinate court, already I told you. If the case not able to solve by the subordinate court, not able to provide the judgment by the subordinate court, in that court rejected in that particular case and overstepping, it goes to another court. That is known as certiorari. Certiorari, overstep. For like that, not able to provide judgment by the subordinate court means it goes to high court, then Supreme Court, like that. Noting. Subordinate court not able to solve the problem means in that case overstepping by the problematic person, and in that case goes to high court. High court not able to solve that particular problem means it goes to Supreme Court. Supreme Court is the final court. Note. Quo warranto. Quo warranto under public offices. The more and more offices, there is a certain different type of departments is there in our country, and also the public officers, if you have any malpractices or illegal manner, any cases come under the quo warranto. In that cases, that particular court provided the judgment against the illegal manner, any public malpractices or bribery is any kind of cases. In that type of cases goes to come under the quo warranto. Quo warranto given illegal manner and also public officers problem were given judgments. Noted. Suspension of fundamental rights. Article 352 provide President make proclamation of emergency. If any emergency is very, very important in this topic. Noted. Suspension of the fundamental rights. If any emergency, for example, emergency means what? Disaster like that. Tsunami, tornado, or any emergency. The natural disasters, if occurs, immediately emergency proclamation were issued by the president. President issued the emergency proclamation. In that time of emergency, the fundamental rights were suspended. Not able to follow all the people. Fundamental rights provided all the people. But in case any emergency, at that time, the fundamental rights were suspended because of emergency. That already told you, any emergency like that in the state or our country. The president declared the proclamation of emergency means the fundamental rights were suspended. Directive principles of state policy. The directive principles of state policy enumerate part 4th of the Constitution, Article 31 to 54. The directive principles of the state policy classified into three types. One is socialistic, second one is Gandhian, third one is liberal and intellectual. சமுதாயத்துவத்தை பற்றி பார்க்கிறது Gandhian policy and liberal intellectual. Freedom were provided and they want to increase their knowledges. Given Article 31 to 51, 34 to 51, classified into 3 directive principles of state policy. One is socialistic, second one Gandhian, and third one liberal intellectual. Noted. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar described as the directive principles of state policy as novel futures of Indian Constitution. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar described directive principle of state policy as novel features of Indian Constitution. Noted. Fundamental duties. Fundamental duties borrowed from USSR. India borrowed from USSR. Russia. USSR means Russia. In 1976, Congress set up Sardar Swarn Singh Committee. Sardar Swarn Singh Committee formulated the fundamental duties. There are 10 fundamental duties were formulated by the Sardar Swarn Singh Committee. They are: first one, respect ideals. All the ideals is there. Many ideals is in our country. We want to provide a respect to themselves. Respect to the ideals. Ideals means leaders. Leaders. Want to provide the respect to the ideals. First one. Second one. We want to provide respect to the national flag and the national anthem. National flag and national anthem. Next, the freedom fighters is there now. More and more freedom fighters were dedicated themselves for our country. Freedom of our country. So, each and everyone want to give respect to national struggle leaders. The leaders of the national struggle who are participating in the national struggle, no. That leaders, each and everyone want to provide respect to national leaders who are participating in the national struggle. Want to provide the respect. Next, to protect sovereign unity and integrity. To protect our freedom. Sovereign means freedom. Protect sovereign. Freedom where we want to protect our freedom. First one. Second one, we want to protect our unity and integrity. Integrity means orumaipaadu. Next one, each and every citizen of India defend our country. Defend our country. Everyone defend the country is very, very important. Want to protect our country. If they called to do so, defend our country. Next one, promote harmony and brotherlyhood. Yes, everyone want to protect our harmony and brotherlyhood. Each and everyone, brothers and sisters, right? Promote harmony, ஒற்றுமை வணக்கம் and brotherlyhood, சகோதரத்துவம். Next one, each and everyone want to preserve our rich heritage and culture. Rich heritage and culture. Everyone want to protect our preserve. Preserve means protect our rich heritage and culture. Next one, each and everyone want to protect our natural environment like rivers, lakes and forest area and wildlife like that. These are all want to protect our each and everyone. Natural environment want to maintain. Everyone want to be humanism and reform. Humanism is very, very important. மனிதாபிமானம் நடந்துக்கணும் and reform. Want to reform. சீர்திருத்தல். To develop our country is very, very important. Next one, everyone want to protect our public property. No one damage our public property is very, very important. We want to protect our public property. Next one, each and everyone want to provide education between 6 to 14 years. 6 to 14 years, children were given importance to provide education. Compulsory education are provided to the 6 to 14 years of the age noted. Now, listen here students, I will recall fundamental rights. There are 7 fundamental rights. 6 fundamental rights only available for all the persons. and certain fundamental rights are only for the Indian citizens. Next one, right to constitutional remedies. Both Supreme Court and High Court issued the 5 kinds of writs. They are habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari and quo warranto. These kinds of writs, Supreme Court is called as guardian of the Indian Constitution. Noted. Habeas corpus, safeguard from illegal arrest. Mandamus, legal help done by the public authorities. Prohibition, the subordinate court not able to solve the problem means it goes to higher court like that. Some cases were prohibited by the subordinate court. Noted. Certiorari, subordinate court not able to solve the problem means overstepping. In that particular person goes to higher court or the Supreme Court like that. Quo warranto. Quo warranto, if the public officers is there, many department is there. If any problem arose the public officers like illegal manner or bribery, corruption like that, during that time quo warranto issued, writs were issued by the people. The solved by the quo warranto issue. Suspension of fundamental rights. Article 352, President make proclamation of emergency. If you have any emergency time, the fundamental rights were suspended. Fundamental rights were suspended. Emergency period. All the people not able to follow the fundamental rights during that time. After emergency only, the fundamental rights are applicable. Directive principles of state policy. Directive principles of state policy enumerate part 4th of the Constitution, Article 31 to 54. The directive principles of state policy classified into 3. Actual. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar described as novel features of Indian Constitution. Directive principles of state policy. Fundamental duties borrowed from USSR. 1976, Congress set up the Sardar Swan Singh Committee. In this Sardar Swan Singh Committee, formulated the 10 fundamental rights, 10 fundamental duties. First one, respect to the ideals. All the ideals provided the respect. Leaders. Next, we want to respect to the national flag and national anthem. And respect to national struggle. Those who are dedicated themselves to the national freedom struggle, no. In that people we want to provide the respect. National leaders. To protect sovereign unity and integrity. Freedom, unity and integrity want to protect. Everyone want to defend our country. If the country called to do so, each and everyone want to defend the country. Everyone want to promote harmony and brotherhood. Each and everyone preserve rich culture and heritage. Everyone want to protect our natural environment like rivers, lakes, forest area and wildlife like that. Each and everyone to be a humanism and reform movement. Each and everyone want to reform our country and also humanism like that. Everyone want to protect our public property and everyone provided the education, particularly the 6 to 14 years children provided compulsory education for all in our country. Compulsory education are provided to the 6 to 14, in between 6 to 14 years of the age children. Note. Okay then, students, tomorrow we'll see.